Hola Madridistas, welcome to another La Liga preview as we are going to welcome Espanyol to the Bernabeu, which is the second of the string of games, home games, before our trip to the Civitas Metropolitano for our first real test of the season. But we have to take it game by game as we know this team has issues to work out before that big matchup. We'll break all of that down and more, but first a shout out to our sponsors for this episode. Manscaped, the pioneers in male grooming with their wide array of male grooming products. You will always be ready for date nights. So head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. Also, this season we have partnered up with Fanatics, the official merch partner for La Liga. So if you're in the market for some really good quality jerseys, consider buying through the link in the description below. It really helps out the channel, and if you want to see Farouk's beautiful face featured on the pod forever and ever, yeah, please support us through our sponsors, guys. So yeah, Farouk, you want to get things started?
Yeah, man. Where do we start or where do we end, man? As you mentioned, firstly, the sponsor is important, to get the support of the viewers, as always. And yeah, it's been, an interesting couple of weeks,
Yeah.
People point to the fact that, but Real Madrid has won games 3-0, 3-1, and stuff like that. Well, yeah, watching the game never gives you that, that feel, you're always on the edge. And during the week, Thibaut Courtois once again reminded, why he is, regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. Like when you have all these players on the pitch and then Thibaut Courtois has to pull off saves after saves against not Man City, not Barcelona, not Inter, Stuttgart, okay, yeah, they finished second. Like, you have to give credit where it's due. You have to put respect there because they didn't come to sit back and stuff like that. But bro, if Real Madrid is in competition with VfB Stuttgart, then I think we are in a different, we should be having a different kind of conversation. It's not trying to be arrogant or like being, dismissive of other teams, but like, come on, man, like you can have. Okay, we've lost to teams, like we've lost to Sheriff before. Like Shakhtar has a number on us, like sometime in the Champions League in the past as well. So it's possible to have these situations, but then you go into those. Anyone who watches the game knows that, yeah, like the scoreline definitely told nothing. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think up until the 80th minute or something like this, 80 something minute, the game was still even.
Yep.
Before Luka Modric conjured his magic, delivered perfect stuff into the box, and Rudiger does what Rudiger does. But yeah, man, it's not looking too good, honestly. But one thing at least is that we had Jude and Chouameni back, so it's always good to have this world class talent back in the team. But yeah, man, I don't know what to say to you, bro. Like it's not the best of times, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, earlier on the Stuttgart preview, we were talking about the fact that, this group stage is going to be easy going for us. It's all mostly smaller teams, no real tests apart from Liverpool. And even then, like in a group stage, they're pretty manageable, right? It's not a do or die game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it looks like things can be complicated if we make things complicated for ourselves. That's what it looks like. But
Exactly, bro.
I wanted to ask you this. I mean, we were both not on the post match, but were you actually entertained by the Stuttgart game? I was on the edge of my seat. I was super happy with the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's an entertaining game, but not in the sense that you want it to be. Like, not in that kind of sense, in my opinion. Like, that's not the kind of, okay, yeah, you talk about the entertainment, but like, we were being sliced open a lot, like a lot of, yeah, of course. I think we had at least 3 world-class saves from Thibaut in that game. It says a lot. And also, it's quite interesting that, you're playing Dani Carvajal as a center back in a Champions League game as well, from the start, not an in-game adjustment. I can understand if someone goes out, then you okay, like Carvajal just slots in there and, you move on with your life. But like, playing Carvajal as a center back and Lucas Vazquez is the one who is flanking him as well, I think it's not the best of decisions. And we saw that, of course, like even Carlo identified that as well. And it was so obvious that at halftime he had to go, Lucas Vazquez, although he made the excuse that, Lucas had a yellow card. That's why I know, because it wasn't just working, it wasn't making sense. But I get what you're saying in the sense that it was a very, interesting game from that perspective. But I think from the other perspective, like I think like they had too much. The rate at which they had success in breezing past our midfield was phenomenal, honestly. And this is the thing, like it still just goes back to talk about that balance that the team has still not found yet. So hopefully it's something that we can get across the coming days.
Absolutely, man. Let's actually get into that Carvajal experiment before we head into the Espanyol preview, because for me, it's like we don't have another choice, right? In case we want to rest some players or someone is out injured, Carvajal is the start of that. Like, what do you think when Camavinga's back, Tchouaméni is going to get played there? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point is like the team has played without Tchouaméni for a couple of games now as well. So like Tchouaméni can slot in there as a center back. But the question now this is that it tells you how much shitty Jesus Vallejo must be in training that we're considering everything except for this. And then hindsight, the transfer of Rafa Marin to Napoli right now looks very, very, very stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's quite interesting.
Would Carlo actually have played Rafa Marin? I don't think so.
I mean, Rafa Marin is not the Jacob Ramon or those guys, like I mean, yeah, okay, like one of the guys, I think two of them got ACL injury. One of them got ACL, one of them got a muscular or knee injury or something like that. I personally have always of the belief that Carlo Ancelotti would not have even gone to them anyways, even if they were fit. But I felt like, Rafa Marin was someone, because he played for Alaves, like he's someone who has their experience, So it's not like someone from the academy that's, something I know, like it's just like the same thing with Fran Garcia. Like Fran Garcia gets to play from time to time, right? So I feel like Rafa Marin will also have gotten his chance as well. You understand? Because like, as I said, like he's someone who's gotten the experience and who's performed, admirably in La Liga. So he would have gotten that chance. And for the price he went, I think 10 million, 12 million, something. Okay, although we have like a buyback on it and whatever. But it was like, we could have at least waited to see, what happened with the deals that we're exploring with what's the name of the guy who went to United? Euro. Although of course now also he's out for 3 months. So even if he had come to us, if he was also out for 3 months, then it also would have been horseshit anyways. But yeah, man, it's quite strange. Like, that I was reading a piece earlier this morning on the Athletic as well about the fact, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Anyways, like on the fact that we are too reliant on both Militao and Rudiger. And the point is, it's a very valid point to me, because why? Militao literally just came back from a knee injury, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about a second center back who's going to come back maybe in November and December. David Alaba also, he's coming back from another knee injury, you understand, and a serious one. So putting that much pressure on this guys in a little amount of time, I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster, man.
Yeah, and we started to see this, like, I thought we were gonna see issues maybe towards December or, early on in the second half of the season, but I guess we started getting injuries in the back line even before that.
Yeah, I mean, but let's go to a segue to like, I just want to talk about something that I think also Carval has mentioned. Like Rodri was saying that the players are gonna go on strike, and Carval was like, kind of backing up that statement. Like, what do you think? What's your take on that?
Yeah, actually, I was following that Reddit thread, and something really stood out for me. I think one of the top comments was, so who are they exactly going to strike against? Are they going to strike against UEFA? Are they going to strike against La Liga? And then who is going to join them? Because it's mostly a problem with these teams who have to play multiple competitions, right? Will the players from Alaves actually turn up for the strike? No, because they have the standard amount of games. It's just us big teams who have like these big ass games, so many games. And unless you're like participating in Club World Cup and everything, it honestly is like business as usual for most teams.
So that's the thing. It's not even the big teams. It's like 3 teams or 4 teams in every league. Because the point is, when you look at a team like, let's go to England, for example, you look at a team like, I don't know, let's say Spurs, Manchester United, and Chelsea, even Liverpool to some extent. And you think, bro, for the past 3-4 years, how many games have these guys actually played in a season? You understand? Man City, okay, is a fixture. Real Madrid is a fixture. Bayern Munich also is a fixture. Inter has also become a fixture somewhat. But you take that away and you're looking like maybe 7 teams in the whole of Europe. Actually, the point you make is a very valid point, what are they striking against? Who is striking against what? You understand? And the point now becomes, like, you have to also remember that when you take away top flight football, the difference is actually significant from top flight to the second division.
Mhm.
You understand? Because like not even top five. Take away the first 10 teams, let's say the top 10 teams or the top 5 teams, the wages that you earn is quite significantly different from those. So like let's assume that a player playing from Valladolid goes on strike and like he's been fined, I don't know, a month's wage or 2 months wage. Like that's a huge deal for them.
Yeah, hugely.
Of course, like for Carvalho, for Rodri, like these guys are multi-millionaires. So like even if they get fined 1 month or 2 months wage, it's like fuck shit, yeah, we don't really care about that. So these are the things that you have to consider. For me, actually, again, it's gonna be like you're reducing everything to something insignificant, but bro, these people go and ask. I mean, let's not forget, like Victor Osimhen didn't join Chelsea because of he asked for a certain amount that Chelsea isn't willing to pay. Where do you think that money is coming from?
Yeah, from the games that they play.
I mean, you play more games, you earn more money for the team, and in return, there is more match day revenue. There is more this, there is more that. You go to the US and you play the Club World Cup, more exposure, more money. You understand? So I think maybe the idea would be to have a cap on the minutes you play when you sign a new contract, or like you be like, yo, bro, pay me what you're paying me now, renew the contract on the same terms where I also play the matches I played in the last year, not more than that. So the 4, 5, 6 new matches that we get is not my problem.
Right.
So I think there is a lot of there's a lot of things that needs to be considered. Like I think both the players and the teams and the people who manage the competitions are all at fault here. I don't think one person can just come out and be like, yeah, we're gonna strike against them, and the other be like, nah. I think there is much. Everyone has to take a bit of blame everywhere. Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like it's pretty much, if you want to sum it down to one sentence, it's like it's basically rich people problems. The other thing is,
That's very true.
yeah, the other thing is, I feel like one solution could be that the clubs who are playing these huge many number of games, right? They should probably expand their squads. We should expand the number of squad spots, and then they should expand the wage budget to accommodate the squads. Feel that's the only way to go, because as we
Exactly.
know,
This is where the cap in the minutes comes into play, right? So, but the point is also like we have Tony Rudiger yesterday saying that yeah he's gonna play. Or actually, the day after the game, yeah, the game was the day before yesterday. He was saying that he's gonna play when, whatever and whenever he's needed to play. You understand? Even if he's on 1 feet or anything. This is the thing. Like, of course, like players will always want to play the biggest matches in the world. You understand? So, okay, we talked about like okay, this is still the group stages, and a lot of games do not really matter that much. But do you think Real Madrid goes to Anfield and like? Yeah, you'd be like, Tony Rudiger, please don't play. Vinicius, don't play. They'll be like, bro, this is the reason why we play this sport. You understand? So
yeah.
this is the point. So it's just it's also quite interesting. It's gonna be yeah, man. I'm also keen to see what happens with this in the long run because one thing we know is that this is not sustainable.
Yeah. The other thing I think we can predict is that that's not going to be a mass player strike. I think that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man.
All right, man. Let's get back on track. We
On to
diverted
Espanyol.
a bit.
Yeah. So Espanyol, they actually visit the Bernabeu, kind of on a rich vein of form. They won their last two, and then they had a draw against Atleti as well. Held them out for a 0-0 draw. So yeah, like compared to the first two games, they're looking good, back from relegation and whatnot. So yeah. Anyways, it's Espanyol, right? For me, I looked at all of the highlights, especially the Athletic game. I actually watched the whole of the Athletic game because I was scouting Athletic. They had a huge amount of chances, man. They put the ball in the net 3 times. They were all ruled out for offside. So yeah, it doesn't
Wow.
look like there's, even though they play a 5-3-2, it doesn't look like they are very efficient in defense. They do sit back and try to hit on the counter, but it certainly looks like our defense should be, I mean, our attack should be able to actually go through them.
Okay, you think that? I mean, the point is like the issue, in my opinion, hasn't been about the fact that our attack, hasn't been clicking or lack thereof. It's about the fact that like they haven't been giving the service that is being, that matters. You understand? So I think this is the issue actually. Like I don't think it has to do more about Espanyol's, defense's frailty or lack thereof, either deficiency in defense or whatever. I think it has to do with more of us not clicking in the offensive half of the pitch. So this is I kind of fear that it's an exaggeration, but like we would even literally have no one on the pitch, but we can get the ball to Vinicius and Mbappe. So what's the point?
Uh, I mean, for me, I saw some good signs against Stuttgart. Didn't feel they were actually able to provide some decent service, some good through balls. Although the fact remains that I'm concerned about the defense, right? We were just cut open almost like the midfield wasn't there, like the defense wasn't there at many points. So yeah, that's more of a concern for me than the attack. I feel like we will slowly figure it out once the players get a few minutes together. But the defense, I don't know.
Yeah, and also like if we credit where it's due, like Kylian Mbappe is starting to actually like turn on the afterburners. Actually, like I'm trying to see him getting into positions, taking on players and beating players and creating things out of nothing. So yeah, I think that's a very good shot to make out there. Like like the offense will eventually figure things out. Maybe the defense is where one has to worry, considering that basically the lack of personnel there that exists, and also it's quite interesting. But yeah, man, I think we well, I mean, it's Espanyol at the Bernabeu. They're just coming back off of relegation. Okay, like they have, they've been impressive in the last couple of games, especially with the draw at the, at the Metropolitano. So they come to the Bernabeu. So it's gonna be quite, interesting to see what happens. But then the expectation also will be that, we should be able to find a way to work through Espanyol as well eventually. But I just hope it's not gonna be another difficult watch, man. That's just the thing.
I think we can bet that it is going to be a difficult watch. It's just how difficult is the question? Because like these forwards, just looking at the Espanyol front line, I don't think they should give us a lot of problems. I mean, they brought in a lone player from Napoli, Walid Chedira. He honestly looks pretty decent. It's just that his finishing is pretty lacking. Their top scorer so far for the season is their number 7, Javi Puerto from the left wing. So Mendy could have his hands full. Sorry, it could be Carvajal who has his hands full.
Carvalho, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be quite interesting as well, with Carval as well. But I do think Carval can will be able to get his stuff done. Will be able to manage that, and worst case scenario, like he also has the backup of Militao as well. I think Militao plays on that side, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So like he's gonna have the backup of Carval as well, sorry, of Militao as well, because it would have been more interesting, if it was a combination of Lucas Vasquez and Dani Carval, then that would be like, a bit of a worrisome, combo. But I do think, Carval and Militao should be able to, deal with that. But actually, I was just gonna ask you this, since you saw a bit of them, like how physical are they doing? Because we talked about Denis Undav and Demirovic, although like Demirovic wasn't eventually the protagonist, but like that's something that we talked about, and of course came to fruition as well, in the game. Although like Denis Undav was unmarked because like in my opinion, Ferland Mendy was ball watching and shit like that. But yeah, how physical are they?
I wouldn't say they're as physical as like previous seasons. But, when they had Sergi Dadar and whatnot, they had a really solid
Yeah.
midfield, right? I
Yeah.
don't see that. I didn't actually see that from the Atletico game. They were easily bypassed. They didn't do a lot of fouls either. They were just mostly sitting back, trying to just take away the storm from the Athletic team, right? But Athletic were like on fire that game. Yeah, it's a miracle that game ended in a 0-0. I think Sorloth, by his own, at least had like 5 clear-cut chances too, and he just shot it wide or shot it straight at the keeper.
I see. Well, should be interesting there, because like the point now, because like Atleti plays in a different way, and Atleti have this outlet players, like as you mentioned right now, rightfully, they have players like Solot in the team, and also like they have the creative hub of Griezmann as well, which are two things that we lack. We do not have that outlet of a striker, and we do not have that creative hub that we used to have in the past in a player like Antoine Griezmann. You understand? So this it's gonna be interesting to see how also we approach the game. But I do think, yeah, eventually, like we should also be able to, like carve out chances. But like, how do we do that? That's also, the question that begs. But I do think, like as I mentioned earlier, like Kylian Mbappe is starting to come into his own. So it should be quite interesting. Like, yeah, of course, we know that Rodrigo has been the best of the 3 attackers so far this year, at least in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, so we hope to see also, him do his stuff as well. So let's see, man. But I do think that that I don't know, because it's like a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, whatever it is. I think that could create a gap between the center backs and the full backs that can lead to isolation of 1v1 between the the defenders and the attackers, and that's what Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Junior, and Rodrigo thrive on. So I feel like that might be something that we should look forward to for our team to exploit.
I don't know. Could be the other way around too. Like since we Like most likely might be playing just on one wing. It's likely that all the defenders move over to that side and then just hog the wings. So yeah, I feel like without the midfielders for this game, we will have a difficult time actually breaking them down. That's what I feel.
But
From
actually, you saw the goal that Kylian Mbappe scored against
Mhm.
Stuttgart, right? You could see what happened there. It was a pass from Chouameni that broke the line, and all of a sudden, you have okay, not to overload, but like you have space to attack.
Yep.
And when our players run into space, this is where they perform the best most. You understand? So I think if we can, if we can, encourage players more like Chouameni to, try that more. Of course, it's not gonna come off always, you understand. But like if you can, try that at least if it comes off one or twice in a game, like that's just what you need to, to create those phenomenal chances. And I think that's something that we have to like, build on honestly. And I feel like there's something that, a player like Arda Güler also could be primed to, to do actually, but for some reason, like we're not really sure what Arda Güler's role is in this team for now.
Yeah, Carlo hasn't figured out the articular magic that the Turkish coach has done. Uh, but yeah, man, we have a couple of comments before we actually head to the ad break and then talk about Real Madrid. So Sunit says, "Big up the panel." Yeah, big up yourself, Sunit. And Marcus is in the chat. He says, "Flick ball is haram ball." Oh yeah, Farooq, have you actually got a glimpse of Barcelona this season?
Honestly, I haven't seen Barcelona so far yet, but like based on the highlights I have seen, like bro, they're moving, man. Like there is an intensity with Barcelona again. Because if you remember with Xavi Hernandez, like it was more like defensive solidity than we, you know, just almost similar to what Zinedine Zidane had done in his 22 season, I think, even not or 21 season. I can't remember when we won the title. It's like we were winning the title by scoring one goals or two goals, and we knew that no one is gonna score against us. So like Xavi was actually in the same mentality of like defensive solidity first, and then we build on that. But right now you can see like Barcelona's play is actually the intensity of the offense has improved a lot, honestly. And it also helps that, like they have a lot of players who are in form in, Daniel Mo's out injured now, but like, Lamine Yamal and also Lewandowski as well. So it's and also Pedri is back and all that. So it's quite interesting, honestly. But yeah, they might be one to watch. But then again, it's the early point of the season, so we don't know if it's still the new manager bounce or something like that. Like let's see how they, stretch into the to the to the end towards the end of the year, at least December, January, then we can get an idea of what this team should look like or not look like.
Yeah, man. Like I can't comment on the defense. I think I just saw their first game of the season. Forgot who it was against, but from what I saw, I think the stark difference from last season is that they actually have two really nice wingers this time. Rafinha is actually on form. He's doing pretty good for Brazil as well. And Lemine, see, I mean, he's just carried over that Euro form over here and then just scoring left and right. Lewandowski actually looks like he has some freshness. He actually looks clinical instead of needing like 5, 6 chances to score from last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything is just clicking for them right now. Bar any injuries, I feel like they can keep this going at least until December.
Yeah, honestly, man, because I just feel like okay, like when you look at it, like Ilkay is gone, and then like they got Dani Olmo, so I'm not too sure about this Barcelona team yet, honestly. Like that's why as I said, honestly, I haven't seen them, so like hands up. But what I'm just saying is like there was a reason why they had a lot of issues last year as well. Like one player doesn't just solve all these deficiencies. Like okay, Pedri is back, Gavi is gonna be back along the line as well, and what is not. But yeah, let's see, man, if they can keep this up until the mid of the season where the business end comes, because like this form can easily fade away, and stuff can easily happen as well, as you may already mentioned as well, like players now are playing in improved form, but like okay, what if that form flies out of the window, or what if that form is just from a new manager bounce and all that, so there are a lot of things to consider yet. It's too early in the season, but let's see.
Yep, let's see. But yeah, for me so far, I think Atleti has been the most entertaining to watch, especially in terms of highlights and everything. They just carve out so many chances, man, with Sorloth and
Yes,
Riquelme.
I agree with you as well. I haven't seen Atleti play, but I've watched all their highlights, and that's the thing. Like as you mentioned again in the game against Espanyol, it's like, bro, how did they not score? It's like crazy. Like, and this is the thing. Like, it's almost like anonymous. Like to relate Atletico Madrid and chance creation. Like it's really crazy, but like yeah, they spent I think almost 200 or more than 200 million euros. So it's been crazy what they've done. So I think it's only logical that they're able to create these more chances. But yeah, man, let's see. Like hopefully, like I don't know, they eventually still don't learn how to convert those chances, because if they do, I do think like this could be a very scary team.
Yep, yeah, exactly. All right, folks. When we come back from the ad break, we'll talk about Real Madrid, some of the solutions that we can see from the defensive attack. But yeah, take it away, Doris.
Hola Madridistas, if you've ever wondered how you can help and support this channel and project of ours, I'm here to remind you we've partnered up with Manscaped, so you can go to their website, use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Well, whether you're bald, you want to be bald, or you are in the process of balding, because this season is already helping with that, I have a new thing for you. It's called the Dome Shaver Pro. It is a trimmer that helps you, shave your head. It is ergonomic. It has blades that come together and apart at the angle that you want to shave. It is very easy to use. It is fully waterproof. You can use it in the shower, easy to clean. It has a flex adjust technology, like I said, where blades come together at the part. It's very comfortable to shave your head. Dome Shaver Pro is also equipped with a high performance 9500 RPM motor, which means no matter how your battery life is over time, the motor will always be efficient and fully working. And speaking of battery life, it has an hour and a half in its life or battery. So it means that you can take it on a trip fully charged. It will still be charged when you get there. It also has a lock on the battery, so if you travel and you're scared that maybe the trimmer will turn on or something, it will lock it, so that never happens. Plus it helps save battery life. You can also get the Dome Shaver aftershave lotion. It has aloe vera, colloidal oats, and gotu cola. It helps calm and nourish the skin after shaving. Plus, it has a fresh green and light woods, scent that's subtle and refreshing. So yeah, use code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Thank you for watching.
We're actually
No.
back. But yeah, me and Farouk were discussing a bit of Bobby Hendrick as well as the former Fran Garcia. And then, Farouk, can you actually believe that Fran Garcia is like one of the first guys off the bench when we need a goal?
Man, you were the course of this, man. We sat here with me, you and Mo, and you were like, when we need to score a goal, we need to bring Frank Garcia on. And then since then, it's been a continuous theme as well. Whenever we need to change something, Frank Garcia is one of the first guys off the bench, man. So I totally, put the blame on this for you. And it's quite interesting, Fran is coming on and he comes on. I can't remember the game, but was it Valladolid? Nah, I can't remember. But like basically, Fran comes in and the first action he makes, he wipes the whole offensive contribution of Ferland Mendy in literally one action.
Yeah,
You understand? So this is the thing. Like, okay, Fran has his limitations, but like the offensive output he gives is actually like
it's something better than
makes you
Mendy.
understand,
Yeah,
exactly, like it shows, exactly what you miss from Furlan Men, you understand. It's quite interesting that Furlan has still, not improved, in my opinion. I don't know why he's still not improved in that, in that category yet, because I remember at the end of last season, we were talking, all of us, and we talked about the fact that the season ended without one true pass from Furlan Mendy. I think he had 10 crosses in 30 something matches, something like this. Like it was like quite outrageous, it was quite strange, when you look at that for a fullback, that plays for Real Madrid, basically like zero offensive output, so it's quite strange, honestly. But I definitely can see why that's the case. But then it's also strange because the offensive output you get from Fran Garcia as well, it's, I mean, I don't want to say useless, but it doesn't have any impact because why? He gets the ball, gets to the byline, crossing to the 18. You look into the 18, there is no one. Everyone is expecting a cutback.
Yeah. The only
You
thing that
get
we
the
can get out
point.
of that is just aim for a corner, right? That's the only thing that I hope
Exactly.
for whenever Fran goes for another.
Exactly. That's the thing. You just hope for a corner because for some weird reason, like I don't know why he doesn't have the cutback button on him. He just has the cross button on him.
Yeah, and that's really strange, man. Like in his Raya Vallecano days, he was all about that cutbacks. He was going to the byline, cutting back. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just about that loss of confidence and loss of I don't know what to do, right? Rather than like doing what he does best, he's doing what he thinks the team needs and something like that. So I think there is a loss of confidence there, and I think it's going to be very difficult to regain that back when you're not being given those chances to play week in week out and what is not. So it's. Yeah, I think Fran Garcia is someone that's always just going to be, what he is, basically a sub and not a starter.
Yeah, I'm actually going to advocate him for starting this game, give a bit of rest to Mendy, judging that he's going to have to play against Alaves to get into match fitness for Atletico, right? So I'm actually going to hope for a Fran Garcia start because, like, at least compared to last season, for me, he looks more solid defensively. He's making his passes. He's not rushing his possession at least. His attacking play, I can't really comment because he's just crossing to no man's land.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. I feel like, I don't know, even if he doesn't play this game, even if he doesn't start this game against Espanyol, he definitely starts the game against Alaves because, they are both home games and they come basically Saturday, Tuesday. So, like, it's a rush of games. So, I definitely do get where you're coming from. And I also, agree with that. Like, either he starts this game or he starts the game against Alaves on Tuesday. And I have no problems with that, honestly, because as we've just mentioned earlier, okay, like Alaves might be, a more daunting team compared to to Espanyol. But I do think like for both of them, I feel like France should be able to to hold himself down against such opponents.
Absolutely. Okay. The other topic that we were discussing during the break, Bobby, take it away, Farouk.
Yeah, I mean, Hendrik has been, a breath of fresh air. Honestly, like, it's been quite surprising, like with two goals in, I don't know the number of games he's played, 4 games or something like that. It's quite interesting. And when you look at the goals as well, like, it shows the power that he has in his shot as well. Of course, like we can point to the fact that the goal against Stuttgart, the goalkeeper should have done a bit better and stuff like that. But like, also the power and the curvature in the ball and also the bounce also, like made it difficult for the keeper to be able to, successfully keep the ball out. And that's the thing, as we were just even talking about, like the fact that Hendrik is a striker in itself, makes a difference because the point now becomes he doesn't occupy the the width basically, especially the left hand side of the pitch. So like there is no crowdedness. So like just being a striker, yeah, okay, he's not a striker in the mold of the likes of the Joselos, or like the current Benzema's now, but just being a striker on its own, like offers the team something different. You understand? And I think even for the goal against Stuttgart, I think even for the goal against Valladolid, he almost created by himself because it was a run that he went on and then a shot. So yeah, that also tells us something, and also it gives the vibes of what we had with Arda Güler last year, as well. But while not in the context of the games, in the context of the season, because the season was towards the end, so like a lot of people didn't have a lot of things to play for. So he just came in and he had this fantastic form. So similarly now as well, it's like when you go towards the end of the game, because I don't think he's come on any game before the 80th minute. I don't think so. I can't remember.
Yeah,
So like when you
late.
go towards. It's always late, right? So like when you go, for example, like we're already 2-0 up against the Valladolid, we're 2-1 up against, Stuttgart as well. So when you go into these games, mostly, teams are more relaxed, especially tactically, and there's more space to exploit. So, it's really good for him to, come and exploit those spaces.
Absolutely. I think what stands out to me just from his substitute appearances is this unpredictability, right? Like you expect like a mature player to actually pass for a better opportunity for Mbappe or Vinicius. I think even in the Valladolid game, he had options, but he just chose to shoot fast.
He just chose to shoot, right?
Yeah, that's
exactly. That's what talks about the amount of confidence he has, right? But I mean, Carlo really basically summed it up like he said, like he's a very brave boy in the past couple of days now. So that's the thing, you know. So it's quite he's quite an interesting character, but you know he's willing to you know take those chances and back himself on the pitch as well, which you know is a good thing.
Yeah. And before we go to the lineups, the other point I wanted to touch on was, you know, do you think our strikers are actually afraid of scoring goals because Rudiger might come and, you know, beat them up?
I mean, if anything, man, it's all part of the fun for the team. I do not think that's something that's on the back of their mind. But however, I think Rudiger will be praying that he doesn't score too much goals because you know he's now on the receiving end of his own medicine
Yeah.
as also.
Yeah. Some hard knocks he had to take after that goal.
Yeah.
Let's do the lineup, man. So no start for Lunin anytime soon. Yeah, it's going to be Courtois and the usual backline.
I mean, wow, Lunin extended his contract and Courtois is on phenomenal form, so I just don't know what's gonna happen with Lunin. I think he's just gonna be back to playing Copa del Rey. I mean, there is no, you know, and the point is there is no shame in being a backup to Thibaut Courtois. Of course, like he has his own, you know, he has his own ambitions to be the first choice, but it's not like, you know, I don't know, like you're a backup goalkeeper to someone that has no name, but like this is, you know, Thibaut we're talking about here, basically the best goalkeeper in the world. So it's unfortunate for him. Last year, he showed what he was capable of. He showed that he was willing to develop and, you know, grow into a talisman for the team. And we really appreciate that. But yeah, it's Thibaut. I'm sorry. There's nothing that can be done about that.
Yeah. And do you see any changes in the backline? Any more rests?
I mean, definitely we're gonna see changes, man. Like, I mean, last game started with Carvajal and Lucas Vasquez, bro. So I think we're gonna see Carvajal back in his natural position and Militao and Rudiger, you know, back as center backs. But yeah, again, as I mentioned earlier, you know, I really want to see what the coaches see in training that Jesus Vallejo is basically, you know, persona non grata, you know. I mean, even at halftime, they could have brought him on, you know, instead of bringing Militao on, you know. Well, it's quite interesting that like you know every person is literally considered except for him. You know, I think maybe he's only ahead of the academy players, but other than that,
Bro, but Stuttgart was a hard game, right? Like we were really up against it, and it wasn't wise probably to bring him on. But against Espanyol, teams like this, can we actually give him a few minutes? Do you see Carlo giving?
that's what I'm saying to you. I don't know, man. Honestly, like it feels like he's there in the squad, but they don't count on him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I mean, for example, you could see Dani Ceballos also is like the sixth choice, fifth choice midfielder, whatever you want to call it. You understand? But you do know that, like, when push comes to shove, they will throw Dani Ceballos on. In the odd game, they will start Dani Ceballos. You understand? But for Jesus Vallejo, you just have this feeling that, I mean, unless there is literally and absolutely nothing else, I don't think they will go to him. Like, this is the kind of vibe I get. Maybe I am wrong, maybe not, but like, this is the feel I have.
Yeah, absolutely nothing else in the sense that Chaumeni and Kamavinga are also out injured and there's nobody else to play in the backline.
Exactly.
Oh boy. Yeah, hope, you know, like it obviously must be something in training, otherwise, like we could have probably seen him more, at least in some of the La Liga games.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that brings us to our midfield. Usual lineup or the starters from the last game playing, I think.
Yeah, in the midfield, I see us going back to, you know, the same number of players. I think maybe we might see our regular starting somewhere, or maybe, you know, because like, or maybe a Luka Modric as well. So, the point is I expect, you know, to see Tchouaméni there. So like Jude, I'm not 200% sure, but could be quite interesting to see because, you know, they're both coming back from injuries. And also we have another game in the middle of the week. And then we have the Downton game at the Metropolitano. So you might want to, you know, I don't know, rest the players. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe they rest them in the middle of the week, but I would not be surprised to see some tweaks in the middle of the part. And because of that, I would, you know, just think of like, okay, maybe like we see Tchouaméni play, but Jude is, you know, going to be rested, you know, with either Modric or Arda Güler coming in his place because, of course, Brahim Diaz is out injured as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see such a change, you know, with still being Fede and Tchouaméni, and then we have, you know, Luka Modric or Arda Güler coming on.
Absolutely. And so we're saying like VMR is going to keep their place. So if Arda Güler actually features, it's going to be for someone in midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I totally stand for that. And by the way, did we actually coin the term VMR? Is that what we're calling them?
Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo. What about the B then? Bele. I thought they had the.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought it was VMB or BMV or some BMV. Yeah, then the BMVR. Yes.
No man, like did you hear like Rodrigo's out when these three guys are together?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jude says whoever leaves out the R is stupid, nah? So or is an
Yep.
idiot or so. I think that was the comment he made. I can't remember what the stuff was, but yeah. So the BMV plus R.
B plus R. Heck yeah. Okay, I guess let's wind this up with the predictions. Scott Heinem is also here in the chat. He says, "Big up to you all, Hala Madrid." Big up to you, Scott. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, give us your prediction if you're still here. Farooq, you want to go first?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think I just my mind again goes to Real Madrid scoring 3. I don't know why this past few predictions I've always been giving 3 threes, but yeah, I'm gonna go with 3-1 for Real Madrid again, bro.
3-1. Do you think Bobby's gonna have a hand in one of them?
Yeah, yeah. That would be surprising, man. That would be surprising.
Yeah, I actually think it's gonna be 1-0 or 2-0. I don't see us conceding at all, even though we might give away so many chances. We're just riding our luck, man, for some reason. And I wouldn't say 3 goals. I just feel like, even though Espanyol are pretty leaky in defense, I still feel like we're going to struggle a bit.
I see what you're saying. Well, let's hope for the best, man. I do see us conceding, but I also think we're gonna, score a couple of goals. Maybe not the fist, not the party form, but at least we will get, we will get the business done.
Absolutely.
Would be quite a hard watch as well, but yeah, we should get the business done eventually.
A hard watch, yeah. Looking forward to it. But yeah, folks, you should also look forward to Sid's coverage from the Bernabeu. We're gonna have post-match fan talks with the fans. So yeah, check out our Instagram and on the YouTube shorts for that. And thank you for all of you guys tuning in, Sinead, Marcus, and Scott, and all of you folks over at the audio platforms. Consider actually coming onto YouTube, man, and hang out with us live. You can get into the chat. You can actually have a conversation. And last but not the least, shout out to our partners over at Real Madrid Committee for their support. And their Instagram is actually linked down in the description below. So check them out if you want to give them a follow. And last but not the least, guys, we're on the road to 3K, is it now? And we would really appreciate if you haven't subbed already, please hit the like and hit subscribe and all of that stuff. Until next time, folks, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.